most basic kadal motel morsel regulation sen number 3 I get electronic transfer of money more PALAU. I gen ngaram ko mo regulate. Ang I get send them merabang al transfer merabang kama Western Union. Hindi ka already exist the regulation ring.
Say krip na mo sa kulong.
Why say?
So they will see, so thank you for your question, first of all. So they will see different processes than the banking system will. So they're kind of front line, right? So when somebody comes to Western Union, for example, and they're going to transfer funds, that the Western Union is the frontline institution there. And so they will know their customer. The bank itself, even though it goes through the bank, they might not know that customer. So Western Union also has to provide a review of that. And so that's the reason that we are regulating them.
So agi mamdangli a point that you're trying to get at that abang ka already marurangi. Di bang ka di madangali a Western Union, din dia kalau dangali kel okya ka Western Union. Mo ka like nga ka bang ka enga Western Union. Nga ka di madangali kang din dia ko dangali kel okya ka ringi. So that's why these regulations go into play. Mo understand rin okya ka rin.
Okay. Maybe we're misunderstanding each other. I'm saying doesn't Western Union already have their own? That when you go, they can screen you before they send your money out? So you're just eating up your work and bank's work and Western Union should have their own. They screen you before you send it out.
That's correct. And so they're actually working to meet the anti-money laundering standards regionally. So Western Union is all around the world. And so it does have a central location where they do keep up KYC. So know your customer requirements. They screen people via Western Unions in different places. But part of our requirements are to also make sure that they comply with PALAU law. And then by putting this explicitly in here as money or value transfer system, it meets the international regulations. So it helps us not be gray listed ultimately. But this is the same for all financial institutions that fall under the Money Laundering Act, is that they have to have these provisions in place unless we find that they're low risk and we, sorry, I am blanking, but we decide that we decide that they don't need to comply with the regulations because there's low risk. And we have had financial institutions where we see that they're low risk and maybe don't need to comply to the full extent.
So, yung sel kadi meng ilaang dia kal Western Union are not subject to what the banks are doing right now. Yes, they're doing it because they're doing it for their home office. Dia kalorurungi lo tirak ra lul belaw. Tamarurungi in compliance with their own home office. Tiang arulik mo sa tamol tirak la lul belaw.
Kakora milokol wase kom karigi karaikel maklol kom bali. Yaikel makikari akuk tiakal salmal al maya oseng yun morngima. Kariga ako tiak kora mo bakikle lel tangaring yam makikari kom bali sabir el madu el marula money laundering el more than maklol kom bali. So makaranga ko mo madangel mulbasay kam makikari kom bali el diakal salmal الولتيرا والتسويدر نيل واسين تسبيل مرولة جايد المقلول اللي كل التقوي المراب لور بيلاو مال أبيت يقلو القمبالي الكوك تقرقيق كرنيل سبيل اللوتوا سبيل مرولة ماني لاندرين الكوك مال مويميس من موتو مليا بيلاو كورا أوكير الواسي ngara klakakaro sa kay maklo el siobay el bay sabi ul kargi karaklo hindi ham kargi karagi
tila malungil kay makmam sa te al mang explaining to kang apart and then akmos mo dito Corbella.
That's a very fair question. So thank you so much for asking it. And we agree. So we haven't actually, I think, placed anybody on the low category, or we do know that there's financial institutions that are low. And the reason we know that is that we met with them and we asked them all about their business practice, how much money, it's a lender, so how much money they lend, what they know about money laundering, who their corresponding banking relationship is, because a lot of the small financial institutions will have a relationship with one of the banks. And so we ask them these questions to gauge what the level of risk is for money laundering. So in a situation where it's lower, they lend less than, let's say, $5,000. They know who everybody is. They can't send it overseas. And it's only the money that's in the bank. That's a very low risk situation. And in that situation, we would probably say you're low risk. What we need to do and what we plan to do is create a rubric or create a method for assessing people low risk. And then they would still need to register with us, and we would re-look at them every year. We just wouldn't necessarily do examinations of them.
So, ito sa kulo ko siyang malungil kersel karim, kaya saragim ko talo mo, lagay dal tamakadong kung siyang designated non-financial business and professions, nariyawagil tu maklol class ring, awan na adrala, mawan na credit union. So, we took time, mitra PALAU Bar Association. We got to understand what they do, and the amount of money lows pay. Same thing in Moraigal Credit Union. Agim limit, agim lam tingin sa tangara okya kartir, ngara threshold transaction il conduct. And then as a follow-up to that, agi check ay galbang sa tirakat tamral takbak claim mo ikagida ngara account tir. Takal si ilog durok legal ludo dal maray belaw. So selgil waisa tamakadongani sing risk-based supervision. Kada mesang sales sector, how much risk they pose to the industry as a whole, and marakong decide mo is it low risk or high risk, and then even though dagim sal to the kambali, agidi ko required to set a register. So every now and then, ang kuksabang asker til may, asker tik mo sa, di ko sisiwagel o mga rules sa ko lagi mo ko tilmit kami, ngaram latchens. Kung latchens sa threshold kami, latchens sabi, le most regal industry ang nga mal specific okya karti. Hindi ka dila open hangin mo or other okoy. Yak mo ospera example legal credit union. A credit union naman nga it's built for a group of people, community organization, whether the other government at makalawder rawan ministry creating or the other regulation mat makarogo yak masityagit. So agim lo omes rasil equal lister tir, Miguel shares sila provide, Miguel amount is il provide the mar other blue, and then we made the determination kung sa elak the concentrate ra other alla letangar sel high end of the risk, ya credit union na the sal toiring letangar sel bottom ending. So that's how we assess how much level of compliance to require each sector industry.